Welcome back, everyone, to Flute Talks. More health, less bullshit. As stated before, we've got a real nice, juicy topic today. It is November, and here in our city, right after October, for some reason, like after Halloween, it just gets crazy with sick people. Not only is flu back in town, seems like COVID is
definitely
back. All kinds of viruses.
Sick season is definitely on the rise.
Sick season is here, and the scary part is our family members are coming on the way too. A lot of people are coming in from out of
people
town.
People are traveling. Yeah, families are having gatherings now. So
the mission is with this podcast to be able to educate you on exactly what is going on, what could be happening to you, the symptoms that you should be looking forward to. God forbid you get one of these things in, and then how it is that we're going to fix these things. It's really cool.
We're going to also be giving you some benefits of home remedies in case you've never tried an IV or you can't afford one at the moment. We can always fall back on some home remedies to ease some of the symptoms.
Natural stuff works too.
And then we're going to be talking about also the benefits of IVs versus maybe some of the supplements that you could be taking at home.
And then the juicy part, we're going to get into pharmacologics.
Also
what big
medications,
pharma thinks that you should be taking when you're sick? We're going to get into the medications. And my favorite part, we're going to talk about the adverse reactions of them. Oh, yeah. What exactly are you putting in your body that they say you should be taking? And has your doctor told you about all of the problems that might arise with some of these medications?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, we talk to a lot of patients and we're like, hey, you want to take that? Did you know that it does this? And they're like, my doctor didn't tell me that. Yeah.
So we're going to be diving into all of that. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with new episodes that are coming up. It helps us also keep this Flu Talks podcast going. So
it helps the algorithm as well. Everybody knows about
hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button, like
stay
it.
Up to date.
Do us a favor. We love you guys. It takes a lot of effort to put these things together. And what we want is just to be able to continue this and bring you guys information that is going to keep you and your family safe and just educate you on more health, less bullshit.
All right, so let's dive right in.
Let's dive right into it. So let's talk about viruses itself. Real fast, we'll dive into what they do to the body when they go in. So
and we're talking about, that could be any virus, right?
Well,
whether it's,
how about we do this? How about we just talk about, we're going to put them together as a bunch. So COVID, flu, and the common cold, we're going to put those together because those are
into
usually
one
what
category?
it is. Yeah, of course, because it's usually what we're going to deal with during this season.
And do they kind of act the same?
Not only do they act the same.
Like in the body, I mean. They kind of have the same effects in our bodies,
well,
right?
your body's going to react the same way. It's not about the effect that the virus has. It's what is your body going to do when this virus enters.
Okay.
The
so
virus
what does
is
it
just,
do?
The virus is just trying to hang out. Listen, it's
like a little pesky friend.
It's a messed up world out there. It's a really messed up world for a virus because the virus isn't like, oh, how am I going to destroy this person? No, man, the virus is just trying to live
as long as possible in our bodies
and reproduce itself. So let's say you walk into somebody's sneeze. We'll go straight through. You walk into somebody's sneeze. This thing enters your body. And viruses, the three that we're talking about, these are anaerobic and acidic viruses. And what that means is these viruses want to live in an environment where there is less oxygen and there's more acid. So isn't it crazy how one of the first symptoms that you have is like the sniffles and congestion? Then after that comes maybe a headache, body aches. Then after that is the coughing. Well, the reason why all of this happens is because your body can only do two things to protect itself when a virus enters it. The human body raises its metabolism, all right, or releases a chemical called cytokines, and cytokines make inflammation. So this virus is very smart. Viruses.
When you say raises the metabolism, you mean like a fever? Like it raises its temperature?
Well, the metabolism in the body, because the metabolism is raised and there's so many things going on, part of that would be a fever arises. But at the same time, that raised metabolism and the fever, they're using up a lot of calories. The body's trying to fight back real hard.
The restlessness.
You got
when
it.
You're trying to sleep and you're sick and you just can't. And you're like,
there's 900 things going on in your body. Your body's trying to fight this intruder that is trying to reproduce itself and take over, and your only mission is to try to sleep, and your body is like, no. So, but let's talk about the actual virus itself. Okay. So, bacteria and viruses are the first things that were ever on this planet. So, they're probably one of the smartest animals that there is on the planet. I mean, these things will mutate to be able to
adapt
to whatever it is that your body is doing. So, incredible, smart animals, very interesting, but they create such havoc.
Is it an animal or an organism?
Call it whatever
organism.
Call it whatever you want to. Animal, organism, pain in the ass. I don't care. I mean, it is an animal. It is an organism, whatever it is you want to call it. But it wreaks havoc on the body. So what happens is this virus enters your body, and what it's going to do, it's going to make itself. It's going to try to get into either your sinuses, or if not, it's going to want to get into your lungs. And it knows that your body is going to create inflammation to protect itself. So remember in the beginning when I said these viruses, they thrive in an acidic and an anaerobic environment? What happens is when that virus enters your lungs and it hangs out in your sinuses and your lungs, it knows the inflammation is coming. And when that inflammation gets there, it reduces the amount of oxygen that is coming into your body. And then because of the lower amount of oxygen,
now the body becomes more acidic, and then now the virus can reproduce.
Exactly.
And spread throughout the rest of the body.
It is making the perfect home for itself inside your body. So
by knowing what your body's response is going to be to the virus entering the body,
it knows what you're going to do.
That's insane.
So therefore, it makes its plan to be able to make sure that it's going to be in a position where it can create babies, and those babies will be strong and survive. Now, to be able to help your body, all we have to do is put that virus in the opposite environment. So what we need to figure out is, hey, how to get rid of the inflammation, how to boost up your immune system, how to bring up oxygen in the body, and then take care of all of the symptoms that come along with it. Those symptoms usually are here because of the inflammation, like the body aches, the headaches. All of that is made from inflammation. You also get body aches because the fevers dehydrate you. Dehydration sucks water out of the muscles, and now you've got pain. So it's pretty incredible what the human body does to be able to protect itself. But we have to make sure that we do everything to make sure that this perfect machine can still fight. So let's start talking about some of the home remedies that we can do to be able to feel better and fight these viruses off. Because I mean, there is a lot of things out there, but we'll go into a couple of them.
We'll narrow it down to like, I think I have like 5 on my list, and it's just I just chose them based on what I've used or what we've used, even with our kids. So we don't give children we don't give our children IVs. Just they're too little. Just not ideal for them. But there's certain other things that we could be doing, not only to use ourselves, but to be able to use on our kids. So this is the stuff that we use on our children, and it seems to work. So I'm gonna keep doing it. So when you're sick, these are some of the home remedies. Number 1, stay hydrated, right? So staying hydrated when the person is sick is essential.
It's probably one of the most important things. Pretty much, if you've got a fever, you're losing water. Water is life, period. So dehydration in the body is going to present itself as body aches, fatigue. You won't have enough energy. The human body knows how to stop itself. So crazy part is most people are sick. When they're sick, they want to rest, but then for some reason, we have all kinds of responsibilities. We have bills, we have jobs, we have families. And because of that, we push our bodies instead of resting. And when you don't rest when you're sick, you're using up energy that your body is trying to use to be able to fight off a virus or whatever it is that entered it. Mm-hmm. You're using up the energy that it needs to fight. And then all that's going to do is strengthen whatever it is that is causing this, the virus or the bacteria, whatever it is. It's going to strengthen it. And then B, you're going to end up prolonging this viral illness. Because if the virus ends up being stronger, that means it's going to spread itself. And then one way or the other, whether you like it or not, your body wanted to rest day 1. If you don't rest, day 3, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, you're gonna end up just feeling worse as
and
then
then that's when I feel like I've been ran over by a truck. Well, you should have stopped at the truck stop when your body told you to stop a long time ago.
Not everybody can. People have to keep working or taking care of kids or whatever it is.
And that is the sad truth. So if you are going to continue working, just make sure that you stay hydrated.
And that's why you hear, usually like people say, drink plenty of fluids, and it's important. I guess, do the fluids also like help flush out?
No. I don't believe
that's just more to stay hydrated, so like you're not
gonna flush out a virus. You're not gonna pee a virus out of your body.
So it's just more to stay hydrated, so that then you don't end up getting the side effects of dehydration, which would be like body aches and pains and fatigue and all that.
Yeah.
All right.
100%. So a cool way to keep yourself hydrated. I mean, everybody on the internet is talking about these days. You can either add a little bit of Himalayan sea salt, that pink stuff, or if you want to go
the water,
next level, Celtic sea salt.
To the water.
A little bit of Celtic sea salt. Your body uses salt water. When you go to a hospital, they don't give you an IV of water. They give you an IV of sodium chloride, saline, meaning there's salt inside of that water. So you want to replace the water in your body with a little bit of salt.
Cool.
I know it sounds crazy. You don't have to make the water salty. It's about adding a tiny bit of it, and your body's going to absorb it that much better.
Nice.
Pretty cool. What else you got on your list there?
All right. So another home remedy, which I love, and I've been doing this more as of lately. Honey with, I get honey and I put it in a jar. I take it out of the jar that it comes in and I put it in a bigger jar. And then I grab onions.
Natural honey. You have to make sure you got the real stuff. It's not a bunch of fake stuff.
Of course. Go to Chrome and buy it from one of the places.
The people watching this don't know what Chrome is.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, so get real organic honey, put it in a jar, I get an onion, I chop it in half, and then
white
that
onion
half,
or what?
I get white onion.
Okay.
I chop it in pieces and I throw it inside the honey, and then I let it sit there for a few hours, and then you just stir it up and you drink a tablespoon of that honey with the onion. Now, some people take the onions out of the honey. I just leave it in there and I let it ferment.
You don't chew the onions.
No, I only drink the honey with the onions inside, but I only drink the honey. No. Just drink only the honey. You're going to see that it has a different taste to it, but the onion has a lot of properties. So onions
tried it. It's not bad at all.
It doesn't taste bad at all.
It tastes a tiny bit of the onion.
But you mainly taste the honey.
So the honey and
the honey and onions. We're going to call
both of them together.
Onions.
It's honey juice. What does the intranet say about it and why it is that it works?
Onions are beneficial when you're sick because they have anti-inflammatory properties. That's pretty cool. And they are very high in antioxidants as well. Interesting, right? So they also help with like congestion. So the combination of those two, the honey with onions, is great. Now, some people also add garlic to this mixture. I don't, because it's just the taste becomes a little bit too potent, and I don't particularly like it. Mind you, I use this for our kids. So I give them, because our kids are already 2 and 5, I give them this honey with the onion, and they take it just fine.
So we give this to them
if I add garlic, they may not take it.
We give this to them once a day now during sick season because
to prevent them
it
getting
can
sick.
be very beneficial for preventative. So I mean,
it could be used as preventive. It could also be used when the person's sick. So garlic, interesting enough, it has antimicrobial properties because of a little compound that contains allicin. So what this does is like it becomes an antimicrobial, so it's good to fight off infections as well. Wow. So some people kind of like mash up a little pieces of garlic. They throw it in that mixture of the honey with the onion, and then they just kind of like throw it in there. Some people might chop it up, but like I said, it might give it, if it's the taste is too strong, then just That's why I only do honey with the onion. Yeah. But it's super interesting how these natural, what are they, vegetables?
Yeah.
How they have like all of these properties. So as a preventive measure, I give it to the kids and I take it myself once a day or sometimes twice now during sick season, morning and night. When we start feeling something coming on or they start coming home with the boogers or the stuffy nose or whatever it is, then I kind of like bump it up and I do 3 times a day. And it helps them get better that much faster.
Anything that we can give our kids that doesn't have to come in a prepackaged bottle with stuff that when you look at the ingredients, if you can't say it, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, we do believe in Motrin. We do believe in Tylenol to be able to reduce pain,
high
fevers and stuff like that. But cough syrups and stuff like that, I mean, if we can go a natural route, I think this is an incredible way to do it.
Especially to prevent getting sick now during sick season.
And it's cheap. I mean,
so a whole lot cheaper. That's number 3. Actually, that was number 2.
Okay.
The honey.
What else you got?
Number 3 is using a humidifier.
Oh, man, we used to use the humidifier for the babies all the time.
Right,
man.
but we just didn't understand why. We were just using it, and then we started like, or at least I didn't.
I understood why.
I just know it was good, so I used it. But so the humidifier, and then correct me if I'm wrong, it adds moisture to the air, which it says here it can be beneficial when you're sick because the dry air can irritate the respiratory tract.
Exactly. Have you ever had a stuffy nose and had to sleep with a stuffy nose, wake up in the morning because you were mouth breathing all night long and you just end up having a sore throat?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what it is that it's saying. So the dry air that you're breathing in all night long, while you're sick, most people when they're sick, they do have congestion in the nose. You can't sleep. You can't breathe through your nose. So you mouth breathe. Most people are nose breathers when they sleep, unless you snore and stuff like that. But if you've got all of this dry air forced into your body the whole night,
it can irritate the
irritates, and then the irritation ends up causing inflammation. Inflammation causes pain, and then once again you're uncomfortable.
Does the humidifier also help break up?
It helps break up mucus
because I've heard that,
well.
but I don't know if it's
it
true.
Also helps break up mucus as well. We're hydrating,
and especially for young kids, right? Because I feel like especially babies, like since they sleep. Isn't that why they end up getting all of the congestion and stuff? Like they can end up getting ear infections, right?
Most babies are mouth breathers until like the age of 1.5, 2 years old, anyways. So
the humidifier will be good, especially for young kids, right?
Definitely.
Now, one of my favorite home remedies. Give me a drum roll.
Give her the drum roll.
Jake can't find the drum roll button. You can't find the button for drum roll. Come on, Jake. Don't laugh. Grandma's chicken soup.
Abuela's chicken soup?
Abuela's chicken soup. Abuelita's chicken soup.
All right, so most people wouldn't think that chicken soup is a remedy.
But it works. Abuelita's, everybody knows that grandma's...
I'm going to have to disagree.
This is an old school... What? With what?
It is an incredible remedy, and I'll explain why. So look at it this way. First of all, in the hospital, if you're sick enough, what they're going to give you is chicken broth. Think about that.
It has salt.
Water, salt, protein, and if you're lucky enough for somebody to throw in some potatoes or some pasta in there, now you've got carbohydrates. So what's great about soup when you're sick, let's go right back to the last 3 things. Your throat, probably not doing the best. If you start eating stuff that you have to chew up and it's crunchy, it's going to end up making a worse sore throat. Warm fluids soothe the throat as they're going down. It also ends up causing vasodilation. So now your muscles and everything is going to open up because of the heat, and that helps your body get rid of more toxins. Now, chicken soup has
so grandma did know what's up.
Chicken soup has protein in it. The chicken is gonna help your body recover.
What if they're vegan tofu?
That's another podcast. I don't know. I'm not vegan, so if you're vegan, hey, great for you. But I'm throwing chicken in mine.
Okay.
Take the chicken out. What do you want me to tell you?
Pasta.
So the chicken itself, the protein, since a lot of people are coughing and stuff like that, that makes little rips in muscle tissue. So it's part of the body ache. So
Cool.
Protein is going to help rebuild that. It's going to help give you more energy. Now you've got more you got more calories in your body. Now you've got more energy. Remember, your metabolism is through the roof. Where are the calories coming from if you don't eat? Is your body going to tap into muscles? Are you going to atrophy? It's not going to tap into fat. I wish. So, chicken noodle soup, great. I'm all about it. And
Nice.
especially if you can get some nutrients in your body when you're sick, your body's going to be very happy about it. Now,
Yeah, which a lot of people, when they're sick, they don't feel like eating. So maybe chicken soup is a great alternative to that.
and
Fine,
if you don't want to
eat
eat
it.
the
Just
chicken
at
and
least
stuff
drink
like that,
the
just
broth.
drink the broth, the water, and the salt. Once again, we already talked about water and
Yeah.
salt and how your body absorbs it, and it's very happy to have it inside you. So, hydration and food are very, very important when you are sick. Now,
And then obviously there's a bunch of other home remedies that you can Google, like ginger and turmeric and all the things. We're just kind of like we just talked about our favorite top 4 in this case, but of course there's a ton of other like home remedies that you can that people have as their favorites, and that's okay too.
let's talk
Now-
about drugs.
Yeah, so the medications, which
All right, so I'm very passionate about this. All right, I was an ER nurse for 7 years. And my favorite thing to talk about people when they have the flu is Tamiflu, Omistivar. I can't even explain.
that's
have
what the
to look it
doctors,
up.
when people go to the doctor that they're sick or even urgent care, that's what a lot of them
So
will give them,
Tamiflu
right?
is the
Recommend?
medication that Big Pharma has come up with to be able to fight the flu. All right, they call it an antiviral. I'm completely against it, and I'll explain why. First of all, Tamiflu has been shown to reduce flu-like symptoms the last 8 to 12 hours.
The last?
The last. So the flu usually lasts about 6 to 7 days, and what this is saying is, the studies, that Tamiflu is going to make you feel better on day 6 or day 7. You'll feel better for breakfast instead of feeling better for lunch. How is this actually on the market? I have no clue. And the reason why I question is because all of the adverse reactions that this thing has.
Like what?
I would expect, and I'm just throwing it out there, and this is my opinion, all right? Tamiflu is a placebo effect.
Oh, yeah?
I think that people feel so much like garbage that you're gonna give them a pill and you're gonna tell them that they're gonna feel better, and the ideology of this is going to make me feel better actually makes them feel better. So it's a big placebo effect. Now, the best part about Tamiflu is this. When a doctor prescribes it, and this is my opinion, and this is what I've been part of in the emergency room, doctors will prescribe you Tamiflu, and this is what it sounds like. Here's a prescription for Tamiflu. You can take this if you want to. You don't have to take it if you don't want to. It's your choice.
What does that even mean?
That's the question marks that I have as well. So I came to you because I trust you.
So it's
my
supposed
health is
to-
in your hands. My health is in your hands. And what you're telling me is if I want to take this, great. And if I don't want to take this, you don't have to take it either.
So it's supposed to reduce the time that a person is feeling the flu-like symptoms. That's what it's supposed to do.
If you look it up, this is
But it's only
this is
if they
the
take,
medication for flu.
but it doesn't really do that.
Now,
And aren't there people that they start to feel worse, or it goes away for a little bit and then and then it comes back with a vengeance?
oh, that's Paxlovid. That's the next one we're going to talk about.
Oh,
That's
okay.
for COVID. Tamiflu, the reason why I'm so against it is because most doctors won't tell you about the adverse reactions that come with Tamiflu. Tamiflu can induce acute psychosis.
Really?
Acute psychosis. And if you do your research,
Yikes.
the acute psychosis in adolescence has ended in suicide. How come your doctor doesn't tell you about this before he prescribes this medication to either your 7-year-old, your 10-year-old, and your 15-year-old? I've had many patients that have told me, I gave my 5-year-old, I gave my 7-year-old, whatever it is, I gave a young kid Tamiflu. They went nuts on me. They couldn't sleep. I didn't give them to them anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Did your doctor tell you that this could happen?
The adverse reactions.
The
that it
adverse
has.
reaction. And unfortunately, doctors are incredibly smart people. Why aren't you telling these patients about them?
Well, they
Why
should
aren't
be
you
telling
telling
them
your patients
what are the good
about
benefits
these?
and the bad
Instead,
benefits, right?
you're telling them, hey, if you want to take this, take it. And if you don't want to take it, you don't have to. Don't take it.
That's their way of covering themselves, I guess. All right. So what's
You
the next one?
documented that you gave them an option. Now, my favorite one is for COVID. They once again came up with an antiviral. So it is very difficult to come up with a product that is going to go into the human body that is going to kill a virus. Right? Mm-hmm. There's not too many of them that are out there that are actually working. So when it comes to COVID, they decided to create Tamiflu Part 2. Okay? Very fast. They made this medication. FDA approved it, just like they had EUA approval of, you know. Mm-hmm. And in the end, Paxlovid it's what's called, the adverse reaction with Paxlovid is what's called the Paxlovid rebound. So people that have had COVID that take Paxlovid, for some reason, which is crazy, the medication makes you feel better the next day. A viral process isn't like that.
Right.
It's very difficult
That's not
to
the
just
natural
stop a
life.
virus dead in its tracks. So what kind of poison did you put in this person's body? And then number 2 is the Paxlovid rebound. So many patients, I'm not going to give a percentage because that information either A, isn't out there, or B, is it true? You really have no clue. But there is a rebound effect. Are doctors telling their patients about the rebound effect? What is the rebound effect? It comes back worse. A week later, you are right back to where you started. Oh, wow. And even worse. And some patients, it comes back even faster, 2 and 3 days later. So what about those patients that they take the Paxlovid, they end up feeling better. The next day, you go to your grandma's house, you're still contagious. What is that doing to people? This is how you spread this even more. And then on top of it, the damage that you're doing to your body. It's incredible. Big Pharma has done a great job of providing answers to things that don't really cure.
That's insane.
It's more of a stabilization game. So therefore, the whole reason why we even started Flawless Mobile Wellness, the reason why it is that we're even here, the reason why it is that I left my career as an emergency room nurse is because I wasn't part of the healing process. I felt like I was part of the stabilization process, and it's stabilize your patients so you can send them off to the next specialist. And when that specialist can't figure it out, let's send them off to another specialist. And we're going to continue to play ping pong with this patient until everybody made their little chunk of money and we fixed absolutely nothing. So we started our own company to be able to provide a natural way of people feeling better and having a preventative outlook on their health. So
let's talk about finally like IVs, right?
Vitamin infusions.
The reason why we started with vitamin infusions and how those vitamins help, because some people might think, oh well, I could just take a vitamin supplement, but that's not absorbed
the same exact way.
Exact way, as fast. We don't even, when you take a supplement,
the gastric system
doesn't even absorb half of it. No,
the gastric, you can safely say that the gastric system absorbs about half of every medication that you put in your body. So, or medication, vitamins, whatever it is. So let's say you take 1,000 milligrams or a gram of vitamin C. It's a regular dosage of vitamin C. Of a pill, emergency, whatever it is. Your body's gonna absorb and put to work about 500 milligrams. The difference between that and a vitamin infusion is when we supplement our patients with vitamin infusions, and we have what's called high dose vitamin C. We put 20 grams of vitamin C into our IVs to make sure that we get the outcome of the anti-inflammatory properties that vitamin C has. So 20 grams of vitamin C through an IV, that is absorbed 100% is the same as you taking 40 packets of emergency at the same exact time.
Can be done because it's not, shouldn't be done because it's not
safe. You throw up
safe.
after the third one. Yeah. No, your body won't be able to keep it down. But you're able to put a lot more of the vitamin, and that vitamin is actually going to do its job.
Which is what?
So remember, so we'll go into it. All right. So the reason why it is our mixtures of vitamins and our immune booster IV has been a great option for patients that have the flu or COVID or the common cold. Now, remember when we first started this that I told you the human body can only create inflammation and raise its metabolism. So that inflammation is caused by a chemical called cytokines. Well, vitamin C is one of the only things on this planet that reduces the creation of cytokines. So cytokines are the chemical that create the inflammation. When we go after inflammation in our patients, we're not actually going after inflammation. We're going after the factory that makes the chemical that makes the inflammation that is causing all of the problems. If we can get rid of the inflammation in the sinuses and in the lungs, now the oxygenation is going to start coming back. Now that shocks the virus. It is in a hostile environment and it's not going to want to reproduce. B complex makes your body create more red blood cells. The more red blood cells you have, the more oxygen capacity you have. Now, once again, we're making a hostile environment for that virus by raising the oxygen capacity in the body. So that's why we add it in there. Zinc fortifies your lungs. It's a great antioxidant. Strong lungs are the only way you're going to be able to get through a respiratory virus or illness. And then lastly, we add bicarbonate to it, which changes the pH of the body to a more alkaline state. So we are giving the body everything specifically to attack this virus in a way that it's not going to harm the human body. These are all vitamins that you absorb. Most of these vitamins are found in the foods that we eat day to day. And when they're mixed up properly and they enter the body in the right dosages, they do their job.
Yeah.
They do their job. So
well, that's why so many of our patients, even during COVID that we took care of, that's why they were able to successfully get over the virus without even having to go to a hospital. And even now, like with, this like sick season, is not even just about like being sick and getting an IV. It's more about being preventive. It works both ways, right? So I do IVs now every week or two to prevent getting sick now during the season. If I do end up getting sick, then I may get a much lighter version of the virus, comparing it to somebody that may not be doing an IV. Yeah. So and this is not like a home remedies, or I do everything. I do the IVs, I do the home remedies, I do all the things just to be able to prevent getting sick. And if I do end up getting sick, then at least I'm not in a bed for a week dying, like dying of like feeling horrible.
Exactly. So, I mean, our mission is always to help people feel incredible. Now, if it is that our patients are sick, the opportunity is there to help people feel better. But our real mission, the reason why it is that we started this is because we want people to be more preventative when it comes to their health. So if you can prepare the body for any type of viral illness, your body will attack it and eviscerate it. So me, perfect example. I do IVs every single week. Why do I do IVs every single week? Well, because we're exposed to sick patients every single week. So I usually get sick maybe once a year or something like that.
Yeah,
and
but
even then,
your
when
immune
I get
system is
even
incredible.
then when I get sick, it's a stuffy nose. It's a slight headache or something like that, and
it lasts for like a day.
And
you're sick for like 1 day.
But what happens? I start to feel weird. Whatever it is, I know my body very, very well. Let's just say I start to feel a tiny bit, and for me at least, it's a little heat in my chest, a tiny bit of soreness in my back, a little bit of congestion, and a little bit of heat for some reason. That's how, if I feel that, it's time to do an IV.
Yeah.
It's time to attack. The problem is that most of our patients will wait until day 3, 4, and 5 to be able to call to get this taken care of. And I understand people don't have I mean, it's not a cheap service.
Right, but it's better to prevent a car crash than to repair the car after the car crash.
Of course.
It's a lot cheaper.
I see it as a fire.
This
thing is going to spread.
It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot easier to prevent a car crash than it is to repair the car after the car crash. So it is an investment, but then again, it's an investment in our health, right? It's an investment, and there's a lot of companies these days that are doing IVs, but then again, the reason why we feel we're one of the top companies is number one, because first of all, because we're one of the top companies in like customer service. Second of all, we put the highest dosage allowable, right, of each of those vitamins.
We make sure that we keep safety our number one priority, but we make sure that we give enough vitamins to our patient where it's going to have those benefits. Now, there are people that are doing vitamin infusions for $100. Okay, I'm with you. Great, you're providing a service for your community, but what are you putting in that $100 IV? We know how much these vitamins cost, and we know that there is almost no way that you'd be able to put the right amount of vitamins when half of the cost of your IV is way less than what it is that we have to put in ours. So our IVs have a lot of stuff in them. When we start adding the glutathione in there, when we start putting all of these different, we also carry medications as well. We're not completely against medications. We carry Toradol, we carry Zofran, we carry Pepcid, we carry Decadron. This will get rid of nausea, vomiting, acid production. We'll get rid of heartburn. We get rid of coughing. You get rid of body aches, fevers. All of these things, we can take care of that right on the spot by also providing you pharmacologics, medications. But they're medications that we use because we know that they've been successful in helping people with these symptoms. We're not
especially that nasty cough that people are getting. Like with this, we've had a lot of sick patients over the last few weeks, and a lot of them are getting the same, like that persistent cough that you can't sleep, or that you've coughed so much and now that they got like a headache or a migraine from coughing so much. So even having like some of the medications that we have, at least they get relief. They're able to sleep, and then therefore they can recover that much faster too.
So it is sick season. We definitely want people to be aware of it. We want you to hydrate really well all the time. If you can exercise, if you can get fresh air, make sure you're getting yourself some good vitamin D. The sun is also going to raise up your immune system. These are all things that you can do every single day to prepare your body, because viruses are going to be around. You're going to be around sick people. It's inevitable. So why not prepare yourself properly? If you were to get sick, there are home remedies, all types of different things that you can buy over the counter in your grocery stores to be able to help you with your viral symptoms. If that doesn't work, you can go to your doctor's office. Your doctor's going to try to prescribe you medications. Make sure that you do your proper research on them before you end up taking them. And if for any reason it doesn't work and you still feel like garbage, you can't get out of bed,
or you want to be preventive and not end up getting sick.
But we're talking about somebody that's already sick.
Oh, okay.
So can't get out of bed, you feel like garbage, and you wish that there was somebody that can be able to come take care of you at home. Well, Fluless is here to serve you. Now, if you don't live in Miami, if we don't have access to you.
Or South Florida.
South Florida, you're right. Anywhere from West Palm Beach down to the Keys. If you guys don't have access to us, Google and find out where it is that you can get a vitamin infusion. Come back to this. I told you everything that we put inside of ours. Make sure that you're putting the right stuff in your body so you can be able to feel better. Now,
and if you do live in South Florida and when you would like to make an appointment for us to come out to you, then visit our website. Is www.iamfluless.com. You can send us a message through there, and we will contact you within usually a few a few minutes of receiving that message, and we can give you all the information that's needed. You tell us what symptoms you have, and then we'll tell you what we recommend. Or if you go to Instagram, you can send us a direct message through Instagram, and either Danny or I will reach back out to you guys.
We got a phone number too, 833-FLULESS. I mean, I know how to read smoke signals. But no, man, seriously, what we really want is people to have access to being able to feel better. Yeah. Whether it's at home with the home remedies, medications, or if we're blessed enough to have you as one of our patients, we'll be more than happy to take care of you in the comfort of your home and show you exactly what it is that we're talking about, because we have successfully taken care of thousands of patients in our community, and it feels freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So
stay safe, guys. It is 6th season. Enjoy the holidays. Try to be as preventive as you can so that you could have a very enjoyable holiday season. And
don't forget to smash that subscribe button, like it, give us some love, and make sure you stay safe, all right? Flu Talks, more health, less bullshit.